Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve Wolf, and with me here is Noah from Panther Quest. Say hi, Noah.
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing today?
And we're discussing a full season in our full season of the Florida Panthers and the playoffs as they finish the regular season and their short-lived stint in the Florida Panthers time in the playoffs. But first, in this video, we'll discuss the regular season before we get into the playoffs. So bear with us, Panthers fans. For the Florida Panthers, after their mid-season stint, they finished the season 11, 18, and 3. When they were 24, 16, and 5, they finished 35, 34, and 8 with 78 points. Short of their last season points they had last year, but only because of the pandemic. Very tragic indeed. Right, Noah?
Yeah, the pandemic messed up everything. I mean, I honestly thought we had a shot, like, after the St. Louis game, but none of us were obviously expecting it to, like, cancel the whole season, so we just left off flat, I think, and that really affected us in the postseason, but we'll get into that after.
Yeah, we'll get into that after. Like, right now, they had 13 games left, and right now we would never know if they would have gotten better or gotten worse, considering they were behind. But it's one of those games. And the funny thing about the Islanders, they were actually on a free fall before the whole thing stopped. So they were lucky. And considering that they're doing so well right now, I'm on verge of beating Philadelphia as of this recording, they actually kind of deserve to be where they are. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally not a huge fan of New York, but I mean, look, it shows work hard, you play hard, and that's what they have. You know, they actually made those adjustments with coaching and things like that. So it actually really shows. And again, we'll get into that stuff with the coaching later, but it just really shows like what these teams have. Like they want more than say we do. That it seems like every time we make the playoffs, that's how it is.
And before we go any further, so far the Florida Panthers are 0-2 when having rematches with former teams they face in the playoffs. Hopefully next time they go to playoffs, they won't go 0-3. That means they have to go face the Rangers, who've eliminated back in 2000.
99. I mean, no, 97.
Actually, it was
2000 was New Jersey, and then 2000 was.
Yeah. My bad.
I'm expecting it's like almost 10 years older than me. Anyway.
Right. Okay. So far, with this regular season finish, the Florida Panthers were 6th in scoring, but were in the bottom 5 have goals against. Unlike last year, where they were, last year they were 9th. They were 9th in scoring, but also bottom 5 when goals against. For the offensive, it's a very telling tale. As for power plays, they were again the top 10 for this year, like last year. But as for defense, it's a whole different story. Last year they were top 10 in defense, right? This year they were bottom 20.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what I've been noticing too over time. Like this team can't remain stable in anything. It's like we're like always good at one thing, and then the other thing we're always like in the bottom of the league. I actually remember the 16-17 season, we were like first in the league in like penalty kill, I remember, but we couldn't score. Now we could score, but we can't play defense. So it just like fluctuates like on and off. We never just be like stable.
Yeah, this was a tale of two different teams. One, they were good at offense, but for defense, I honestly haven't seen something like this since maybe was it 2012 season when they went to the playoffs? Was it? Am I correct? Yeah, like after that stint, they had a very one-sided season.
It was a mess after that. I mean, it's like we couldn't score. We had no offensive potential, even with like. I'm just being honestly, Barkov saved honestly that whole like thing because if we didn't drive Barkov and say we got a guy like Seth Jones as defense, I mean that wasn't a problem back then. It's just I don't know. Defense was an issue back then as well, but it's just just so frustrating over time. It just these things like never change.
As for our top scorer, it was Mike Hoffman with 29 goals. third in points with 62. Jonathan Huberdeau were like I believe, second in goals with 23, with the most points, 78 points. Yeah, so a very well goal scoring team so far. As for goaltending, Sergey Borowski, 23, 19, and 6, 3.23 goals against with a 900 save percentage. He did increase from when the midpoint left off. Basically, it was around 898 or something like that, but he increased. But his game didn't get better.
Of course.
Sam Montembeault, our first backup, was 5-5-1 with 3.34 save goals against with 890 save percentage. A disappointing year for him compared to last season.
Of course.
I'm shocked. As for Chris Streeker, our backup from the minor leagues, did impressively better than both of them combined. 7, 2, and 1, I believe, with 2.05 goals against with a 938 save percentage.
He destroyed it this year, Chris Streeker. I mean, I remember the first game he played against Nashville, shut out the Predators 3-0. I was at that game, so that's why I know about it. I mean, he's just been incredible, honestly. I honestly wasn't expecting too much of him because I remember we signed him to a contract last year. I was like, oh, great, another goalie that we'll need. But then he actually proved himself. He's actually has a relevant spot on this team. And unfortunately for Montembeault, I don't think Montembeault is honestly going to be with the team for much longer. I could really see him being exposed in the not the Vegas draft, the Seattle expansion draft.
We'll get to the Seattle expansion draft later on this video, but Chris Streeter proved his worth to be Sergey Borowski's main backup during the playoffs. In my opinion, if the coronavirus did not happen, I think he would have gotten a nice run. Do you agree?
Drieger or Bob?
Drieger.
Oh yeah, definitely. Drieger had his roll on. He was going. He was nonstop. He was on fire. And that's the thing. We can't really break these streaks. If they're on fire, you just keep sending it and just keep going in. Then, of course, COVID hits. And then I think that messed up not just Drieger's game, I think the whole team. They just didn't do well in the playoffs. They just came out flat. So that's why I think that really impacted us at that moment.
The most memorable highlights of this season I can remember is 2 games. The Boston game and the Anaheim game, where they were down 4-0. 4-0 or 4-1 for the other game, and they just somehow surge back into to win the game, scoring 5 goals and winning the game. That
was insane.
Honestly, that's like the theme of the season. As even with the opponent scores, we score when they. And it also had the opposite effect for us. But we win most of those games. And honestly, it's very telling. For Sergey Borowski, someone once told me that it was not just him. It was the defense of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Seeing as they were able to move on further than the Panthers, I think that's very telling. Do you agree?
Right. Yeah, I do agree. I do. Columbus, they have obviously a different defensive system than us. They're much more defensively stable. I'm just being honest. I only think we really have maybe one guy carrying our defense on this team, and I think that guy is Aaron Ekblad. And honestly, he's not even 100% compared to what he was back in 2016. He still seems a little vulnerable, but again, he's doing better than guys such as Matheson, Brown, Strawman, players like that. So. And they're obviously not helping our goaltending, so that's why I think Bobrovsky's numbers were honestly fairly low this season. Drieger's numbers were very high, so it could honestly be debatable. But I think it's because Drieger is honestly fresh in the league. But Bobrovsky's been in the league for a long time. He's hitting 32 years old right now, so I think he's getting a little vulnerable in his career that he may have to lace them up in a couple of years, honestly. So, like I said, I do agree. Columbus's defense was obviously much better. They're more defensively stable. Players like Zach Werenski leading their defense. So, and that impacts our goaltending, which Bobrovsky's numbers were so low, which I think it's because of the defense. But at the same time, you have Drieger's numbers, which are fairly high this year. So it could be debatable whether you want to think about it or not. But I think defense took the biggest toll. on the season.
And players like Mike Hoffman, who scored 29 goals this year, really proved to be very good for us.
Of course,
We
yes.
got him before the start of the season, correct?
We got Hoffman. We picked him up through the Well, he was actually a free agent. San Jose signed him, I believe, in the or I believe no, I'm sorry. He was traded to San Jose, and then we traded for him through to San Jose from San Jose. It was kind of like a two-way trade, sort of. He was traded to San Jose, then he came to us back in 2018.
It's still a very good pickup for us.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. I knew Hoffman would get it done this year, especially opening night. Back home, he got the hat trick opening night. I knew it was gonna be some hell of a season for him.
He got like 2 different hat tricks, right?
I believe so. Yeah, no, I know Achari got 2 in the back-to-back hat tricks. There's honestly so many like hat tricks this season with Pesic, Achari. It's like there's like we haven't had this many hat tricks in a while, honestly. So it's hard to remember all of them. But yeah, I think Hoffman. Honestly, I think he's gonna get re-signed. I think he earned his spot on this team as a top 6 forward easily, even possibly the top line next year. And I think he replaced Dadonov, honestly, because Dadonov I didn't think Dadonov had it this year, and I think we can't sign both of them. The asking price will be too much, so I think Hoffman's obviously gonna get this spot, and then we'll invest the remaining money into better defense.
If some people are saying the Panthers are gonna blow it up, and I don't know if they will blow it up, but like I don't think so. Do you?
I mean, I honestly don't think it's gonna be anything major this offseason, knowing the past. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe once our new GM comes in, maybe he or she has a different route of approaching things. I'm not sure, but I don't think it'll be anything major yet. If we finish I don't know, like in the bottom of the league like we did years ago, like next year, then obviously that's when they'll start to be getting rid of guys and buying out people, things like that. But I don't think for now. I think they're put for now, even though I disagree. I think they should really be trying to change things right now, because we've just been in this same hole for the past 6 years. I mean, we haven't really done anything major. So I mean, the only major thing I think we did was the Borowski signing, but look how that turned out. It was a failure, honestly.
It was not exactly a failure, not yet. At least it's one season, though.
Yeah,
it's not.
No, but I'm not saying his contract is a failure. I'm saying his first year, because we were all coming in saying, oh yeah, we're gonna make the playoffs, make it past the first round, blah blah blah. But Borowski's gonna save us, and then it just turned out really flat. So I don't know. Maybe Borowski will be better next year if he has better defense to back him up. I'm not sure yet.
We'll see.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to discuss before we get into the playoffs?
Q. Quenville, yes.
What do you like to discuss?
Personally, I think Q was a good pickup, but what I've been noticing over the course of the season is, I think the reason he got so much praise was because the 3 cups in Chicago, but Chicago had that good team. We don't, so he has no good guys to work with. I don't think Q is that coach everybody says he is, to be honest with you. I think he's obviously better than people like Bugner and Rowe, but I think not Talon. Gallant was probably our best coach we've had in the past 15 years, to be honest with you. Q is a great guy, but I don't think he really picks too much, honestly. He has a lot to honestly do, and he just couldn't handle it. That's what I think. He got too much of a praise from Chicago, so that's why I think he's loved by the fans.
I think expectations for him were a little too high.
Of course,
as we had promising coaches before, but none of them actually fill in that promise.
Right. Yeah. The thing about Q also is he's made the playoffs. Out of the 20 years of coaching, he's made the playoffs 18 times. So we are all hoping, saying, "Oh, we can make the playoffs." So blah blah blah. But this team was obviously, before COVID, not a playoff team. They were not.
At least not first round, going past first round type playoff team.
No, I mean, maybe if we got lucky, I think we probably could have slipped in. But I don't think we obviously would have made past the first round if it was just on a regular basis.
Right. Okay, time for the playoffs. After 3 freaking months of waiting and like a bubble created. Panthers' first round opponents was the New York Islanders. Again. 4 years.
Last time once.
Unlike last time, there will be no tripping. At least, like, Trocheck's gone, and the guy who tripped him is not on the team. I don't think so.
I don't even remember who tripped him. Was it Polak, or I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I just know Trocheck got tripped, and that was it. I don't even remember who tripped him.
Wow, it would have been an interesting Game 7 if that didn't happen.
I still get like nightmares. They should have just shot the puck into the empty net. I don't know why they were holding the puck so long. It's just like there's so much that game. I mean, that could have been like fixed. I mean, that whole series, honestly. I mean, if Barkov scored the double overtime, the penalty shot. But
before we get into the individual games, how did you feel about this format?
Coming into the playoffs, I really didn't like the whole idea of actually extending the season because of what was going on. What I would rather it be is I would actually rather the players get their rest. So coming into next season, they'll be strong. And now, like with all these playoffs and the games and the whole bubble thing, I think it's all just ridiculous. And it's just the way the NHL wants to make more money because, again, it's a business, unfortunately. So that's just my thought. And I didn't like the whole playoff format. I thought it was ridiculous. They really didn't have to do it, honestly. They should just scrap the season and then move on next year.
I mean, we were in a situation that's never happened before, you know? I mean, we had scrapped season before because of player disputes and contracts, but never like this, so...
Yeah, especially with, like, no fans, too. I think it's boring, honestly. It's like when I watch hockey games, like, the best part is, like, the fans, like, the atmosphere, but it's, like, it's just not the same. I mean...
The NBA is having those virtual fans on the side. It's kind of funny and goofy at the same time.
Like, the NBA feels like more of a summer league, like a summer D league than actually the playoffs. So that's why it's like, and even I was even thinking about too if they could even just like have like say like 3,000-4,000 fans in the building because the BB&T Center is one of the biggest venues in the NHL. Sort of like what the Miami Dolphins are doing. They're putting about 13,000 fans in Hard Rock Stadium for next year, which I think is about like just a fraction of what it holds the 65,000 people it could fit. So this is my thoughts.
I mean, with everything going on, large public gatherings is a bad idea.
You can't really risk anything, so I'm not really sure what they could have really done at that.
I mean, like indoors, it's understandable because I hear stories like people indoors still getting it, but with outdoors, I think it's less likely of a chance. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see the football games this season. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Okay, time for the playoffs. The Florida Panthers, game 1, and lost 2-1 with the lone goal being Jonathan Huberdeau. Like I said, that's got to be Borowski's better games, and unfortunately, the offense didn't do much. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree. Like I was saying before about the team having like say great offense and then bad defense and then good defense and great offense. I think Borowski played one heck of a game, and I think he honestly played pretty well the whole series. But again, our offense in this series wasn't there. The defense wasn't honestly there either, but I thought the defense was better other than obviously Mike Matheson messing up every shift.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter complain about Matheson.
Oh gosh, it was crazy. I
mean, yeah. For 2, they lost 4-2 with lone goals being Alexander Barkov and Mike Hoffman, who, by the way, led the whole team in goals for the whole playoff series. As for game 3, they won it 3-2, avoiding elimination with Mike Hoffman, Eric Hula, I believe that's his name. By the way, yeah, Hula, he was a beast on that game. And BB
Ekblad scored.
No, Ekblad didn't score. Brad Boyle scored.
Oh, Boyle, yeah. I know. I remembered. Yeah, I mean.
And as for the final elimination game, they lost 5-1. Mike Hoffman being the sole goal. So, yeah, there were games where they were not offensively like what's the word I'm looking for? Show great effort, but lack what they needed most. And other games, it was a runaway game for the Islanders.
Yep, and like I said last series, 4 years ago, the Islanders wanted more. I think it's the same here. The Islanders clearly wanted more. We didn't play as well as we should have. Our offense honestly didn't like show up as it should have. And that's the issue, too. It's like I remember back in the 15-16 season, you had players like Huberdeau, Barkov, and Yager. They were great during the regular season, but when it came to the playoffs, it was just bad. It was bad. I think that's the sort of the same issue here, except Hoffman obviously lit up the whole playoff series. That's honestly really it. Other than that, it's just been not great, but Borowski played all right. That's all I can honestly say for it.
Yeah. Hopefully this off season we can pick up a few people. We already re-signed someone from our defense.
Yeah, Brady
Hopefully we can get some more.
And that's the thing too. It's like
I just found that out. Great keep.
Yeah, it seems like the team is giving everybody like contracts. I mean, it should be like if you don't want to play here and you're not showing the effort, leave. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2017, going to the 17-18 season, they signed Talon signed Madison to the 8-year, $4 million contract each season, which I thought was ridiculous because he only had 1 year of experience, and I think that really messed up this whole team, honestly. So just with the contracts, the team has to be smart, and they really need to see if there's going to be futures with this team. That's why I'm just being honest with you. Once Barkov's contract expires in the next couple of years, I don't know if he'll honestly resign because Barkov hasn't been the same like in the past 2 years, to be honest with you. Like, he's not the Hart Trophy contender everybody said he was. He's not. I mean, yes, is he a top 20 player in the league? Of course, but he's not that Hart Trophy guy, the MVP guy everybody says he is. I'm just being honest.
Indeed. With the new team, the Seattle Krakens, coming to, what was it, like next year or the year after next? What's the timeline?
The year after next year, so 2021-22.
Who do you think is on the chopping block to lead the Panthers for that team?
It's going to be hard, honestly. I haven't really thought about it too much. I mean, a player that obviously pops to mind, obviously, Montsabot, I can see really getting he's getting exposed for sure. But Borowski, we have to protect. It's just kind of honestly difficult to really say at this moment. I think we're still a year away to see how everybody does next season, for example, but they really can't be making the same mistakes like they did last time. Protecting, say, players like Buksa instead of 30-goal scorer Jonathan Marchessault, who's their best player right now,
who's also doing well in the playoffs and right now helping the Golden Knights reach the finals again.
Yep,
trying
to. The Marchessault, they're killing it.
I actually going for the Golden Knights to win it all. You?
Oh yeah, they have a probably Vegas. I think has a decent chance, honestly. Who knows? Maybe Boston could go back, even though they're done basically. I mean, I forgot about them, honestly.
As for the East, I think the Lightning still have. I think they can do it.
Yeah, if they could, maybe. That's how it goes.
Though they aren't in a collision course to face the Islanders again.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah. Though the upcoming season when they restart again, I don't think they're going to allow fans to the stadium. So
sad. I was looking forward to going to a couple games this season, but if that's how they want to do it, then it is what it is.
Until COVID is under control, it's going to be like this for a while.
Yep. It's a shame, honestly. If just people just did simple things like wear your mask in public, don't party too much.
Tell that to college kids. Idiotics.
Yeah. It's like here. I mean, outside my campus, there's people like playing like volleyball games, and like why? It's like there's like groups like 30 people. It's like they're. I don't know. I mean.
All right. Any final thoughts, Noah?
I'm just hoping for next season. We get a good guy for GM. I heard people like say Peter Torelli are in the run, which I think that'll be terrible for us. He did nothing bad in Edmonton except draft players like McDavid and Draisaitl.
I heard a GM from Pittsburgh may be available, but I'm not sure. But that's a rumor.
Yeah,
So
Kevin Weeks was in the run, Scott Mellenby, people like that.
let's see what happens. Hopefully, and one thing for sure, be better on defense. Defense is the key. Offense, we're good, but defense, we need to improve the defense. If we're going to go anywhere, defense is going to allow us to go further into our playoff roller coaster.
Right, yeah. I think what it is, too, is I think we need to find a way to get rid of Matheson, honestly. That's my guess. Maybe say bring up keeper, see how he does. He didn't really do that great in the pre-playoffs, like the exhibition game. But, we'll see how he does. He's still a young kid. So
I actually like Hula, what he did during his short stint with us.
Yeah, I like him. He's pretty cool. I mean, I can see him on the third line, but people like say Walmart. I think he's Walmart isn't good. I don't like Walmart.
Oh, we have a lot of things to fix during the offseason. Hopefully they can fix it.
Yep.
All right.
That's points.
All right. Thank you very much for Noah, and thank you for all the audience out there listening. Hopefully we can do this again at the beginning of the season, and hopefully the Panthers can be a better team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
My name's Stephen Wolf, and
I'm Noah
from Panther Quest. Thanks for listening. Thank you for all you out there. Have a wonderful day, night, evening. See you next time. Goodbye.